What is up, YouTube? This is Casual Yugioh. I am Chris,
I'm dog.
Baby.
and we're coming at you guys today with a special video. And this video, it's going to be why do we have the channel? Uh, the purpose of the channel because
What
we've
this
gotten
channel is.
we've gotten a few comments from people about like they
a little
want
bit of confusion.
yeah they want one thing out of the channel, and we're trying to explain that that's not what it is.
Yeah, a lot of people we definitely get a lot of comments about people expecting more meta builds from us, and I mean that's fine, I guess, but that's not actually the intent of the channel, and so we're thinking that maybe the fact that we're just a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, some people are just kind of expecting just general YouTube or Yu-Gi-Oh content. So
I feel like the name has been a bit confusing here, so we'd like to take this time to welcome you all to our channel, Casual Yu-Gi-Oh!
We thought that was a good name because we thought that was evident in what we were trying to do. We thought people would be able to read that, but I guess there's some miscommunication. Uh, I've gotten some comments on some of my profiles that, like, for instance, my Cyber Darks are not meta enough, that they need more solemn cards and more hand traps and more board removal. That's not what that deck does. If I wanted to do that, I would just pick up any like relevant deck or whatever, but I wanted to play Cyber Darks to play the deck. That's just part of
this this isn't a shot at the people that are commenting these things, and I'm sure you guys genuinely think that, hey, these are great ways to make your decks better. What we're going for is very much, hey, this is a cool way to play this in a very casual setting. We're not really looking for ways to build these decks in, like, to make them tournament ready. That's not really what we're going for. We're not looking for tournament ready. We're looking for just general casual play, and maybe, like, show like, hey, this is a like kind of a
off the
frame,
beaten path move you
frame.
could do.
You could use this as like a framework and things like that. If you want to just, you want to play it very much for fun, and for those people that are like, hey, I don't want to see these lists that are like, hey, you gotta play your Ash Blossoms, you gotta play your Solemns, all of that stuff. For the people that are they're not looking for that, and that's kind of what we're here to bring as a channel.
The majority of what, at least I'm going to bring, and I feel like most of the time what Porter as well brings, is something kind of thematic. It's built with something we specifically want in mind, like all the monsters inside the deck are machines, or the deck specifically goes to a certain state, like constantly switching things out with the ninja deck.
Like my Mermail deck, for instance, I got some flack about the build. Which, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, some of the stuff that you gave me, I have changed that deck since then. It's still going to be using some of the things I was using, but it will never be a meta build of it. But I got some flack about the monsters in my extra deck weren't good. That was a total joke. My rule for making the deck was everything in the deck has to be water, including the extra deck, because there's enough good water extra deck monsters. And because I don't like links, I'm not using Miss Starboy or whatever, but that was my goal. I know some people are like, well, you can do the Nightmare package or whatever. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play generic rank 7s and generic rank 4s or whatever, rank 3s. I'm going to just use water monsters for that deck because I kind of wanted it to be its own thing. For the rank 4 warrior deck that I did, I wanted everything in the extra deck to be a warrior because everyone just goes through all the generic rank 4s. I wanted to just use something like that. Ancient Gears, I'm probably going to do it where it's all machine in the extra deck, or try to. So, yeah, that's just a few of the things. Like my zombie deck got some complaints that it's trash and it's not good or whatever because I use things like Berserk Dragon to deal with Dark Ruler. I love those cards. I want to use them. If you don't want to use them, I've never said this is what you have to use in that deck. You don't. If you don't like it, don't play it, whatever. But understand that I'm not like an idiot. We're not idiots. Like, if I put something in there in the deck, I understand that, like, there could be a time where that doesn't go off. You know what I could run in there? A hand trap. But that's really boring, and I don't want to do that.
It's not about being optimal or the best choice that we could put in the deck. If you're looking for something to compete with, this probably isn't the proper channel. Our major concern isn't being meta, isn't being competitive. It's about having fun, which is something I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of starting to skimp out on a little bit recently. And I'm not entirely against links. I think it was an interesting idea at first that's just gone off the rails. But the main idea that I'm going for here is for something that's more focused on playing the game and having fun with it, other than trying to win.
Yeah, my I'll let you go in a second. I'm sorry. My goal is not win. My goal is have fun and hopefully get to use my deck that I'm using or whatever in the way that I want it to be used. Like if I was using, I'm trying to think. If I was using Cyber Dragons, and I love Cyber Dragons, if I won with just sitting on Infinity, I didn't really have fun. I want to use Power Bond and Fuse and make some cool plays, all that kind of stuff. Infinity's a play, but that's not what my deck is built around, just getting that card out. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, like it's not that we don't know that a lot of this stuff is out there. It's not that we don't think it's good. Like we know it's there. We know it's good. We know it's really good, and we know that it would make our decks perform way better. It's just that that's not really, it's just not really what we're going for. Like, in most of our decks, it's like, yeah, you can put like the Nightmare Engine in every deck, but it's like we know it's good. That doesn't mean we're going to use it necessarily. It's just, it's something that we know that these options exist, but we don't want to use them because we feel like it a lot of times might detract from the fun of or intent of what we have from the deck.
Like I see some deck profiles, and I'm not like, this is just how people do different things. Team X Samurai or whatever, Sam from that channel, he does a lot of deck profiles. At least he used to. I don't know if he still does or not, but he used to do a lot of deck profiles. And in his deck profiles, I would see constantly, he'd be like, triple Ash Blossom, triple of Infinite Impermanence or whatever, because he'd be like, well, you just got to run them. He's talking about a tournament setting if you wanted to pick that deck up, and he's like, this is the best build right there. Personally, for me, I find that kind of lazy, because what he's probably doing, because he does a lot of deck profiles, and the guy's not lazy, but I'm saying, like, because he does so many, he takes the build of like 20, 25 cards, and he just is like, staples, and fills the rest out with staples. And that can be really boring. I don't want to run an engine with just hand traps. I've said that before. It's really boring to me. I want my 40 cards to all come together and have a connection with each other.
And again, like if you're going to a regional, if you're going to something like that, absolutely play those staples. If you can, it's like, and here's the thing, is like if you watch one of our videos and you're like, hey, I think there's some cool stuff in here, but you're lacking the staples, I mean, change it up. Like we're not going to get upset if you change your version of the deck up, or if you think that anything that we do is interesting, but you just don't like if you're like, hey, this little engine in here is interesting, but everything else is absolute shit. I mean,
we've all done that. We've all looked at something in someone's deck profile and be like, that's cool. The rest is shit, but that's cool.
Yeah. And
you can also hit the comments and just ask us for a better idea of what a more competitive version would be.
Yeah, we actually do, believe it or not, we actually do try to follow the meta to some degree. We actually have
keep up to date with it.
Yeah, we actually have a pretty good idea of what's going on, what's winning, what is good, like what good builds generally look like. That's just, we just don't really necessarily want to play like that, because we're not like avid tournament goers and things like that. So we're not going to build for that. And we actually do live in a very, very, very strong local region for Yu-Gi-Oh! So like it's not like, oh, we play against trash players in our locals. No, we actually have one of the strongest scenes like in the nation.
Yeah, so those dudes do not use rogue decks at our locals. They never do.
Oh yeah.
Like,
but you bring in banishment and all of a sudden you just win for some reason.
you get, and a lot of times people will be really, really surprised at like a lot of our decks are like super jank, and they actually do surprisingly. You'd be amazed of how well some of them do.
One, the jank deck, yeah, like our decks do better than you guys might think. I don't know if you're just not used to seeing stuff that's not meta, but like if you look at it on paper, you might be like, oh, does that work that well? Yes, a lot of the things that are in our decks, it's because they've been play tested, and yeah, we're like, oh, that works. By the way, another thing is, we change. I mean, I don't know about you, because I don't think you play enough with your decks, but me and him change our decks constantly. We'll be like, this was working, now it's not working. I have to change it. I upload deck profiles, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, I've changed it. It's changed.
And to be completely honest, I'd say for my decks, I'm probably looking for more of a bit more. I feel like I look for a bit more of a like competitive optimization than they do, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I still think I fall short of that in most of my decks, but it's all about like we're trying, it's casual Yu-Gi-Oh. We're trying to build from a casual perspective, and there's nothing wrong with building from a competitive standpoint. I mean, if you're going to tournaments, then yeah, you need to do that because it's a lot of money to. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money to go travel to all of these events, and so yeah, you need to take the best thing possible that it's going to guarantee your win. So I was like, I absolutely understand that.
But our goal isn't to compete. Our goal is to play.
Yeah,
We're trying to play the game, not win by any means possible. We don't want to run an engine inside of a deck where we're trying to have fun with it. It's not something we're trying to find a way to make this work. We're just trying to find a way to do something a little bit more creative instead of competitive.
Yeah, and I want to make something clear. As we follow the meta, we will watch YCS streams and just be like, hey, did you watch that, whatever, because we like seeing like what the top decks are doing or how these decks go against each other. So it's not that. And also, we would like to do it more, but we occasionally will go to tournaments, regionals, and we'll just show up and we play. And like, I took Dark Magicians last time. He took his Banish deck. And like my Dark Magician deck is probably the most meta deck I have, or meta competitive, because of the fact that I go first and I can set some shit and try to negate and stun my opponent, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I chose that. I have a more fun build of that deck, and I have a more casual build of that deck. And I go back and forth, and there's kind of a war inside me of like, which one do I want to use or whatever, but I try to mix them. But anyway, what we're trying to say is there's a reason why we wanted to make this channel, Casual Yu-Gi-Oh! For casual players who are tired of the meta and don't want to see meta nonstop, because I'm one of those people. I think we all have that. But I don't have a problem if you're a meta player and you're like, hey, I just want to focus on the competitive. There's channels for you too. There's stuff out there for you too. And it's not like we're going to ignore the meta. We'll like acknowledge it and that kind of stuff. But they're two separate things. And sometimes they can like, kind of meet in the middle. But I'm just, main things that I don't run in my decks are stuff like, if it's a generic staple that most people are running in their decks that has nothing directly to do with their deck, I probably won't be running it.
If it doesn't fit the theme.
It's just like I don't know. If I can, like, the only hand trap that's meta relevant that I would run is like if I had Ash Blossoms, I might run one in my zombie deck. But
Draw
like,
and lock.
it's not a zombie. Like, I don't want to run it. I want that deck to be zombie. So
I just like draw and lock.
Yeah, but that's basically I think that's the moral or the juxt of what we're trying to get across here. I hope you guys are understanding. It's just like I get a lot of like negative feedback sometimes in the comments. I know we don't have that many subscribers or whatever, but I feel like some of this could be, worked out where like maybe just there was a misunderstanding. Because like I understand, guys, and that's one thing. I want you to comment, not just for the fact of like, oh, I need comments for my videos, but like I want you to comment and be like, hey, why are you running this card? Because I don't know why you're running it, and I'll answer. And then if you say, hey, why aren't you running this card? There was a dude that asked me why don't I run Thousand Eyes Restrict in my level 1 deck. We talked about it. It went on a little too long for me because I felt like we were just going like this. But there's no hate there. There's no ill will. I get what he was saying, and I said, I see you. I just don't play it. But if you play it, it's cool, whatever.
And please let us know if our deck is stupid, and give us meta-relevant adjustments we could make. That's really what we're looking for from this community. You see, we're called Casual Yu-Gi-Oh, but it doesn't mean we spent all this time trying to clarify that we don't want to be meta. Leave some improvements.
Yeah. Like
that's really what we're looking for.
So some of you guys have been like really cool with your comments, not only positive things, but like I said, if you have a critique of the deck, there's a way to go about it. And it's easy to be an asshole online, and I'm not saying like you can't be an asshole. I'm just saying like
please do actually.
It's whatever. It'll give me enjoyment to rip at you or whatever, like, and go back at you. But like,
the internet is for arguing.
Right. But what I would say is, if you have constructive, and I say constructive, if you legit have a like, why are you playing that? Whatever. But to be like generic about it and be like, your deck was stupid, your deck is trash. Go into detail about what cards you're like, I didn't like this card. And I'll be like, this is for casual play, dude. Like, if I was taking this to a tournament, I'd probably take that card out. But I'm trying to play the deck casually and have some fun with it. The more fun I could possibly have in my deck is probably how I'm going to build the deck. The more cards that are like that, it's probably how I'm going to build it. So,
really just cite your sources. The deck is trash because we're dumb. The deck is trash because we're fucking garbage people.
And then I would
really just tell us why.
And then I would come back at you with being like, "What decks have you playing?" Well, I just got into Yu-Gi-Oh 2 years ago, and my favorite deck
Trickstars.
My favorite deck is Trickstars, or my favorite deck is fucking Sky Striker. Such a cool deck. And then they just, no offense against you, but you haven't even made it yet.
You said something...
Funny enough, I actually enjoy pure Trickstars, and I really want to make Sky Strikers.
And you said something earlier about the nightmares when you play multiple copies of them.
I have them in like 1 or 2 decks. Like I said, like I'm the one that like I'll put in dumb stuff because it works. I don't care. But like I'm not afraid to build stuff that's a bit more competitive. Like that's just I guess it's just how I go about the game. But like I also enjoy definitely going about things, and I enjoy being in a casual setting of the game. I don't really care to. I'm not the kind of person that I care to like go and compete somewhere. I like to just play with friends. I like to play casually.
And there's sometimes a conflict between us because
there's definitely conflict between with what I would like to play and what they
because
play.
he's like, I love these competitive decks. And it's like, then go duel someone who's like playing a competitive deck. He's like, no, I just want to duel you guys.
I can't help. I'm not playing them because they're good. I play them because I legitimately think they're cool, but they end up being really good. I can't help it.
We don't give a fuck. We have like 60-something subscribers on this channel, so the rest of this is just gravy. If you guys want to leave now, leave now. But so this brings us back
to make sure you like the video.
Yeah,
first.
This brings us back to the video we posted.
Tell us we're like hella trash at the game before you go.
Subscribe.
One of the videos we posted last time we were talking about top 5 decks you want to make, and we got into the like you building competitive decks. And you're like, I've been down that road for losing. You're like, I don't want to do it anymore. What I was gonna say was, decks like Sky Strikers or whatever, like these decks, he does have interest in, and he does like them, like maybe art style or whatever. He likes the play style. I get all that. I am saying I wish you would take more chances with the casual decks, because you will find casual decks that can play and can do some things. They don't need to win all the time.
It's not even necessarily that. It's that I have yet to find like a super casual deck that I'm like, wow, that looks really, really interesting to me.
Make Cosmos. I thought you said you wanted to
make Cosmos. Cosmos are pretty casual.
It's like expensive again.
That's true.
Is it?
Yeah, because Dark Destroyer.
There was a point when like you could have like max rarity the whole thing for like under $100, and I almost bought the entire deck then. But I was like, nah, it's fine. And then they unbanned Dark Destroyer, and everything shot up in price. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed about that.
But
we're typically like table 500 decks, except for him. He's like tier 2 to 5.
Another thing about him, a lot of his decks are either, I don't want to say they're link based because you haven't really been playing that many link. You have decks that are newer, but pendulum base. You got Dynamist, you got Odd Eyes.
I'm past the pendulum.
What am I missing? I know you get more, don't you?
I have Metal Foes.
Metal Foes. That's 3 pendulum decks.
I'm past the pendulum.
I think that's it.
Okay, maybe that's it. So he's got 3 of those. He's got, and we'll show these in deck profiles eventually. We'll get to all these, so it's not going to be new, but
Metal Foes should still be on there. I don't think I've updated. I don't think I've done.
You've done Metal Foes. You haven't done Odd Eyes, I don't think. We never got to it.
Did I not?
No.
You're right.
We didn't do Odd Eyes, and we didn't do Dynamist. He has Nekroz, Shadalls, Blue Eyes, Lightsworns. What am I missing? Element Sabers. True Draco was an abomination, and I don't ever.
I love that deck.
I hate it. Number 1 forever.
True Dracos and Monarchs are actually 2 of my favorite decks,
and I hate both of them.
Those are my fun
Monarchs.
decks.
Monarchs at least gives the illusion that I might be able to play. True Draco, there is no illusion. You just can't play. So which I was thinking about this earlier, and guys, like I said, get off this video whenever you want. You're not forced to watch it. Isn't it funny how they balanced a card like Eternal Soul for Dark Magicians? That like, if this card's sent to the graveyard, everything, all your monsters go away. True Draco's like, if this card's sent to the graveyard, you just get to pop something your opponent.
I don't see the problem.
I understand
you have to kill my monsters in battle twice. They get attack bonus. I can search.
You can search anytime, whenever you want.
I can search any of my cards off of just popping something, which gives me extra advantage. There's nothing broken.
Anyway, but that's pretty much it. So overall, like as far as the deck counts, he's got. How many do you actually have made? 3.
I have
Ghost Tricks,
Ghost
Banish.
Banish, Ninjas, and Aromages.
Aromages.
Did
So
you actually finish ninjas?
he's
You basically had everything.
Oh, I didn't know if you got like all the other stuff you need. Did you fill out the extra deck yet?
Oh no, the extra deck's not done.
I've got
I don't
like
have an extra deck for like most of my decks though.
I've got like 20 to 21 decks I think right now, which I know sounds like a lot. I think most of them are on the channel. There's a few that haven't been on. And then I think he's got like what 12, 13 probably. Are you counting?
I think I've got like 10 or 11.
10 or 11.
Well, I've got two that are kind of in limbo right now.
Oh, that, for sure.
I have to like kind of rebuild
Yeah,
them.
I got Dexter in limbo, yeah, for sure. But all right, well, we just hit 20 minutes, and that's not what our goal was. Our goal was to just like get it across. But hopefully, we explained everything. Like I said, this isn't hate. Now, if you want to bring hate to me in a comment section, over, I'll bring it right back.
Bring it to me, please.
That's another thing. When you guys are like talking about like, oh, you can't react this way. It's our channel. I will do whatever I want. Like,
this is America.
I will do what I want. If you're gonna come at me with some venom and some hate and be like, you're a fucking dumbass, blah 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 blah, I'm gonna come right back at you with that attitude. Now, if you come back in a polite manner and you're like, hey, why are you playing this? I don't agree with this choice. I'm not gonna call you an idiot or an asshole or whatever. I will come back at you in a polite way and try to respond correctly. But it's whatever you dish out is what I'm gonna dish back out at you, dude. Like, don't dish it if you can't take it. That's an old saying, you know. Don't be that dude. So, why did you look like that, Jesse? That is an old saying. If you can't take it, don't dish it out. That's
Yeah.
I try to be pretty polite personally, but that's just me.
I'm not afraid of conflict. Not afraid of conflict. Anyway, all right. I think that's it. I think we got it across. We'll try to upload more videos. Peace.
Make sure you dislike this video and
Oh yeah, give me
to
the
our
hate.
channel.
Give me the hate. The more dislikes, I view that as a win. That means people are paying attention. All right.
Most disliked video on YouTube.
Hopefully,
Let's go.
that's what we're going for.
Friday.
I want other YouTubers to like be like, did you see these assholes' video? Yeah, I want to.
It's the most hated Yu-Gi-Oh video of all time.
I can't wait to see what's good YouTube. Did you see that these people were like dissing their fans? I would never do that. That dude is so fucking fake.
The most
Fuck
hated
you, dude.
fans on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Peace out.